कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा निताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताई गौर हरि बोल।
संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हरे कृष्णा। Thank you Nivedita and Prabhuji for lovely kirtan.
Thank you Mataji. Hare Krishna, giving to this opportunity.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Welcome
Hare
to all.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Bol. Hare Krishna to everyone. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivan Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitam Shicha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam Pangum langayate girim Yat kripatmaham vande Shri Guru Vinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Namine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitaya Kripa Pradayane Gaura Katha Dhammadaya Nagare Hare Krishna. So we are doing the last part of the this chapter 3, which is like yesterday we read that enemy is the lust. Arjuna asked the question that I have understood that all these things I should do, I should fight because this is my duty, but I don't know, somebody is forcing me not to do my duty, or somebody is taking me away from my path, and I do not know who is that. What is it? So what is that force? Says Baladiva Niyojita. Somebody is forcing us to act which is not right. Like yesterday, we had discussed that sometimes we do not want to do the things, but there is some force which makes us do. Even though we think that this thing at this time is not right for me, but there is a force, and this force is there in all of us. At some point of the time, this force comes and it forces us to do the thing which is not favorable for us. So Arjuna had this question, what is that force? And Krishna says that Kama Yoga, Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Rajoguna. This is, oh Arjuna, this is the lust, and which is generated by the mood of passion. And when the lust is not fulfilled, it changes into the wrath, anger. When we desire to have something and somehow or other, if we cannot get that, then what happens? Okay, we become angry. There is a very simple example that if a child playing with something and crying for something, and if you take away that thing from hand, he'll start screaming. So it is not only the child, even for us. Like if I am very much waiting for something to happen in my life, I'm very much desiring to get something, and somehow or other it doesn't happen, then we become so upset, we become so angry. And anger is the cause of our anger is very detrimental. Anger is the cause of our fall down. This we had seen in the second chapter also. Krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti bhramshad buddhi nashat pranashyati. In the anger we do not know, we cannot see right and wrong, and at that time we do the things which is unwanted, even though we do not want. We know it is not right, but in the anger, because we lose our vision, because we lose our intelligence, because we lose we become illusioned. So the thing happens. So these are the very, very practical teachings of Bhagavad Gita, and we all can relate to us. When we are reading Bhagavad Gita, it will never look like you as an ancient science, and which is like, I do not understand what it is talking. If we are reading Bhagavad Gita properly, we understand very clearly that each and every verse is meant for me alone. And it is teaching me so many things. So even though these scriptures were written down 5,000 years ago, and sometimes that is why it is called ancient scripture, ancient teachings. And we feel that since it was written at that time, the circumstances were different, and now the circumstances are different. So these are not practical for us. But that is not correct. If I tell you something very interesting, many of you are new, in the Bhagavad, Srimad Bhagavad, the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad, there are two scriptures. Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata, which was spoken by Lord Krishna. This is the instruction of Lord Krishna. And Bhagavad is about Lord Krishna. So sometimes we get confused, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavad. We get confused, both are same, both are not same. So in the Srimad Bhagavad, it is mentioned that Vyasadeva, when the Kali Yuga began, just at the Kali Yuga was start to begin, and it just began that time, he was sitting in the bank of Saraswati, and he could see, because he was an incarnation of the Supreme Lord, so he could see, he had a vision to see what is going to happen in the Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is going to be there for 4,32,000 years. The age of the Kali Yuga is 4,32,000. So he could vision what are the things going to happen in the Kali Yuga. So then he saw what kind of people are going to be, what kind of mentality people will have, what kind of problems they'll be facing, what kind of lifestyle they'll be having. He could imagine, he could not imagine, actually he could envision, not imagine. This is not imagination. He could actually see because he himself was the Supreme Lord. So he thought, I should give something to the age of Kali Yuga people. Because before Kali Yuga started, until the Upper Yuga, all the scriptures were not in the text form. People used to learn the Vedic knowledge by going to the Gurukul ashram, and the ashram where the teacher used to teach them, and they used to remember and memorize everything. It was not in the any script was not there. So then he thought, in this age, people will not have that kind of memory to learn, they will not have time to go and sit in the Gurukul to learn. So how they will know the scripture? So whatever the basic things we needed, he compiled in the form of scripture in the Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, and all those categories for different people. So scriptures are written differently for different people. So people in the mode of ignorance have a certain type of mindset. For them, what they will be doing, how they can improve themselves, certain teaching has been given. People in the mode of passion have different kind of mindset. What they will be doing, what is their requirement, according to that, for them there is something written. People in the mode of goodness, what kind of mindset they will have, what they will require, for them one set of scriptures given. And those who want to get rid of all these things above 3 modes, for them there is something else given. So actually it is given for people like us. Seeing us in our condition, these scriptures were written. First shloka, not first shloka, in the first canto of the Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, Manda Sumanda Matya, Manda Bhagi. Kalyug mein the people will be very, very lazy, less intelligent, and they will be having so many anxiety in their life. They'll be misguided. So why people are very active? We are not lazy people. Kalyuga mein most active people. We are doing the most thing. He meant that spiritual, for the spiritual upliftment, they'll be very lazy. They'll be very dull-headed. They will not understand spiritual things. So I should give them something very simple, which they can easily understand and assimilate and change their life. So these texts are written especially for us. So don't think it was written for 5,000 years ago, so that is irrelevant. That is the reason teaching of the Vedas are very perfect. Teachings of all our scriptures are very, very perfect to the precision that what is the structure of a womb, the child structure on the first day and the second day and the third day and fourth day and fifth day, when the child starts seeing, when the child starts listening, when child feel hunger, all those things very precisely is mentioned. How the cosmic creation is there, how the stars are there, how the planets are moving, all those things are very precisely given. And that time there was no telescope. According to the Vedic modern science, there was no telescope, there was no sonography, there was not all these things were not there. Even though those things are mentioned, all kind of knowledge is there. How to fight in the war, how to do the business, how to be a king, how to be a householder, everything, all the knowledge has been given in the scripture. So our scriptures are very vast, Vedic scriptures, and it has everything what we need in our life. That is the reason when we read it properly, we will understand teachings are very, very relevant for my life. So here Arjuna is saying, what is the force? Atakena prayuktoyam papam charati purusha aniksham apivarshneya baladiva niyojita. What is that? What is one impelled to sinful acts? By what? Acts, even unwillingly, act is engaged by force, even though we know that we don't want to do it, but we are forced to do it. And then Krishna says, Kama Esha, Krodha Esha. This one. That is, it is the lust only. Lust is not lust in the modern word. In the lust means the really excessive or the sex desire or the physical attraction for the men and women. The lust does not mean that only. Lust means any excessive desire to achieve anything in the life is called lust. Like if you have very excessive desire to achieve something is also addressed as a lust. So here Krishna says it is the lust. Lust means excessive desire. Normal desire is okay. Even if it doesn't get fulfilled, we are fine. But the excessive desire, we just want to have it. Somehow I'm waiting for it. That, like, then the anger is more stronger if you don't achieve that, right? So Krishna says it is the lust only and which transform into wrath, and that which is the all devouring sinful enemy of the world. So then Krishna says, 3 degrees of lust we read yesterday, how the lust is covered by the covering of the lust is thin and thick. If the covering of the lust is thin, we can easily overcome. If the covering of the lust is very thick, it is very difficult to overcome. So we had read 3 examples here, fire and smoke, that fire is covered with the smoke. And so we can see the fire, even though the fire is covered with the smoke, but there we can, at least the fire is seen, and little bit you just put a fan, and then the fire, smoke will go away and we can see the fire. And even though smoke is there, we can feel the heat. We can touch, like we will get burned. The heat is there, so we can feel that. So that is like very little effort is required for us and a human being to overcome our lust. And then the second, he said that the mirror is covered by the dust. Mirror is covered by dust. The nature of the dust is to reflect our personality. But if the mirror is covered by dust, it loses its capability of reflecting things. So we can't think anything. So we have to make a more effort to clean it clearly to see the thing. So that is said in the animal. Animals, they are very conditioned. They live a conditioned life. Even though they get an opportunity, they will not be able to overcome their conditioning. Like a lot of prayasa is there. And the third was embryo in the womb. Embryo in the womb is very thick lust. It is the example. If our lust is so thick, like embryo in the womb, then we cannot overcome it at all. There's no chance, no way to overcome it. And then example is given here because as the embryo is covered in the womb, thickening is so strong that he cannot even move. He cannot do anything. He has to just be in that place, a small place in one angle. The child has to be adjusting in that. He cannot do anything. Sometimes it is called as a kid. Birth is also very painful. Being in the womb of a mother is very painful because we have no movement. We have no no fresh air. We don't have the even light. Somebody has like trapped us in a very, very dark place where we can't move. So it's very like fearful condition over there. The child, when he gets some consciousness in the 4th month, in the 5th month, then he becomes very, very terrible. He feels very terrible being in the womb. And sometimes there are many prayers written by the great acharyas. They have mentioned that on behalf of the child in the womb prays that this time I have done this fruitive activity and I wanted to enjoy, and I have to come into the womb of a mother, but next time I don't want to come. Some of them, they remember their past. Some of them in the womb, they remember the difficulties they have, and they said, I do not want to come back in this day, because it's a very, very not a very healthy or not a very nice situation to be in. So thickening is so strong, he cannot do anything. So if our lust is very thick, then it is like very difficult to change. So here they said human, trees and animal and trees, there's a slide. So we are very fortunate that our covering being as a human is very, very thin, and we have a chance to overcome it very easily. So these 3 analogies we can also understand even in the human form. I had told yesterday, some people in the they are having the less thickening, and they a little bit get into the connection with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and then they start reading and they completely understand and they change. Some people are there, they'll come for the long time, but there will not be any effect for them. Like very slow effect will be there, because once you start hearing Bhagavad Gita, our consciousness gets changed, it gets elevated. And some people are so thick covering in the human form also, like they hear again and again, but it doesn't make any sense to them. They cannot, they will not able to admire it and appreciate it or understand it. They will not be able to do it. So this is all because of our lust, and it is about how thick is our lust, covering of the lust is. So then Krishna says, okay, so lust is there. So what do we do? There is a many philosophy in modern days. If you develop any desire, try to fulfill it. As much as you develop the desire, you fulfill it. So, but scripture does not say. Scripture says try to control. It will never be satisfied. How much amount you give them desire, fulfill your desire, but it will never be satisfied. If I get one thing, then I desire for another thing. Then I get another thing, then I desire for another thing. This is how we are seeing our own life also. We had different desire at different state of life. We had different desires. Different desire, and still we have so many desire, and still when we become old also there will be some desire. So it can never be satisfied, and it burns like fire. Anything which is not satisfied, we will be, because we want to hankering. There is a lust is there is a hankering. Hankering means we want to have more, we want to have more, we want to have more, never satisfied. So even though in that process of hankering, whatever we have also we can't enjoy, because we always think, okay, this is there, but if I get this also, then it will be fine. Just this only I'll get, I'll be okay then. And when I achieve, this is a human nature. So if you try to fulfill all the time, it will be never satisfied. So if the lust is there, then Arjuna wanted to know where, how, if I want to control. Lust is like an enemy. And here it says, Krishna says, trust the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust. So Jiva is pure in consciousness, but Jiva is covered by his eternal enemy lust. So now lust is our enemy and we have to conquer the enemy. If we need to conquer the enemy, what we should know about the enemy? What we should know? Any
weakness?
Guess?
It's weakness.
Okay.
We want to know about his strength and weakness. What is the strength and what is its weakness?
Okay. Yeah. We want to also know the places where the enemy is there. How do I protect? What are the, like when an army goes, he tries to find out the places where they can be. And then by observing, because that is how they take the aerial view and they see different places where they can be, the place of the enemy. Then it is easy for us to target. If we do not know, nature is of course required, but then later, first we should know where the enemy is. So now Krishna will teach us sitting place of the lust. How does the lust attack? From where it attacks us? Those are senses. Senses are the one thing immediately attracted. Anything we want to get the attachment just by our senses only. Like if I heard something and I develop the attachment of those sound and I want to hear it again and again. If I saw something, so I saw that and I wanted to have it, then I want to see it again and again, that thing, whatever it is there. Or seeing, we develop the desire. Oh, this is very nice. This is for my enjoyment. How can I attain this thing for my enjoyment? How can I have it? So like different nose, smell, our 5 senses are there. So all 5 senses are the sitting place of lust. So lust enters in us through the senses. It enters, and then above the senses there is mind, and above the mind intelligence. So these are the sitting places of the lust. So it enters through senses. Senses alone cannot do anything. Senses cannot enjoy. So senses are only entry point. Then it goes to the mind. Mind, like senses has no, just see it. Mind start processing it. Oh, this is so nice. I should enjoy this. Processing happens in the mind. Senses just deliver the message. Through the senses, the message is delivered. This is good to hear. This is good to see. This is good to touch. This is good to eat. They deliver the message. Now mind will process. Oh wow, this is so nice. Let me have it, because that capability is there in the mind. Above mind, there is intelligence. Now, intelligence is actually above the mind, and the role of the intelligence is there to discriminate whether it is good for you or not, whether you should have it or not. That discrimination is done by the intelligence. But when our senses are very strong, they pull the mind and mind pull the intelligence, and they all three become one, and we become victim of the lust. This is how it happens. So senses are strong, they will start their mind is processing very fast, and mind will overcome the intelligence because intelligence is weak. If the intelligence is strong, then it will say, no, you cannot do it. This is not for you. Not that everything what you see or what you hear, you should get it or you should enjoy it. This is not nice for you. So if the intelligence is strong, it will guide the mind. But sometimes when the intelligence is weak, it will be carried away with the mind. It will be pulled by the mind to enjoy. So that is the reason it is said mind is very strong. And in the 6th chapter, we'll see mind can be your friend and mind can be your enemy. If uncontrolled mind is, it acts like an enemy. And if it is controlled mind, then it acts like a friend. Uncontrolled mind, unlimited desires, unlimited pull to the material senses, and unlimited anger and unlimited lust. But controlled mind, then it has a discrimination. Whatever we needed for us, whatever we think it is right, we will do it. Okay. So this is now, it is this hierarchy is given in this shloka. Indriyani manobuddhir asya dhasthinam uchyate eter vimohate yesha jnanam avritya dehinam. The senses, the mind and the intelligence are the sitting place of this lust. So what are the sitting place? Senses, mind and intelligence. Though through them, the lust covers the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders. The living entity by nature is very pure, but it by the influence of senses, minds and intelligence, it becomes impure. The example sometimes is given when the rainwater comes down, it is the purest form of the water. Rainwater is the purest form of the water. But as the water touches the ground, it just mixes with the dust of the ground and becomes impure. Then we cannot drink that water. After it falls in the ground, it has all the contamination of the earth. But in the air where it is there, it is the purest form. If we collect from there, it is the purest form of the water. So similarly, the soul is pure. When the soul comes into contact with all the senses, the mind, the intelligence, and becomes like this, then the knowledge is covered and it becomes bewildered. So how to conquer? So if the lust is makes us victim, then we have to conquer the lust, right? How do we conquer? This is the last section. Tasmat tvam indriyani adyo niyamya bharatashabha papanam prajahyenam jnana vijnana nashanam. Niyama bharata, tasmat tvam indriyani adyo niyamya bharatashabha. Krishna does not say, okay, if you want, have it. Just do it. Just enjoy it, Arjuna. Whatever your mind says, just do it. No. Krishna says, you try to control by regulation. Regulate your senses. Papanam prajanahiyeram jnana vijnana dehinam. Therefore, O Arjuna, best of the Bharats, in the very beginning, as the desire comes in the mind, very beginning, this great symbol of sin, lust, by regulating the senses and slay this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization. So try to regulate it, not curb also actually. Try to regulate it because senses will demand. It's the nature of the senses to demand. We cannot curb it. Curbing, also we read previously that desire will be there inside. If you try to curb, like yesterday I said, if you try to not do something for certain times, then as soon as the time period over, we want to do it with more force. So curbing is more than curbing, regulate it. Give them something nice. I want to hear, give them something nice to hear. I want to see, give them something nice to see. I want to speak nicely. Do something which is favorable for our karma. So give them, control them. Don't, because in the previous verse says that it is not that you fulfill the desire and you will be happy. Just by fulfilling the desire, you will not be happy because it is like you are putting butter in the fire. The more you put the butter, the more the flame will go up. So what we need to do, we have to stop putting the butter into the fire. Then slowly it will extinguish. This is not the way we put the more and more butter and then the fire will go up and up more and more. So that is how he says, try to regulate your senses. So this is also very, very, now Krishna gives the hierarchy again, how this is there. This is very nice. We try to be little bit more attentive to hear this section. Indriyani parani yahur indriyebhya paramam manaha manastastu para buddhe yo buddhe paratastu saha. Now how to control the senses? Okay, I need to control the senses because it will otherwise I will be a victim of the senses and I will fall down. I'll be bewildered. So I need to control the senses. Then how to control the senses? Regulate it, one thing. Give them the higher taste is one thing. Then how do we do it? Krishna is giving another option. So first he gives the hierarchy. Matter is the object, sense object. There is an object for the eyes, object for the ears, object for the nose. Like something to smell is like a rose flower is the object for nose. Maybe the rose flower is object for seeing also. It's very beautiful. We want to see it again and again. Okay. Something is to taste, like some nice palatable dishes are we want to taste. We want to enjoy eating that. We have a sense of touch. We want to touch all the soft things. If any, like children nowadays, where they have the like soft toys, because they like the touch of that softness. So this is also, it's a nature of the sense touch. And then we have the senses like genitals. Also, it requires like a mixing with the men and women. So these senses are always trying to attract us by different means, and there is object for each senses. Then above the senses is mind. So what senses see, hear the object and convey the message to the mind. What does the mind do? Mind process it. And then intelligence, mind will process. Agar mind is very strong, it will process itself only. Or otherwise, mind is weak and intelligence strong, it will pass on to the intelligence and intelligence will process it. Above the intelligence is soul. So if the intelligence is weak, that is what we read, then we cannot control the mind because mind is overpowering. And we will get attracted to the senses through the sense object. Above the intelligence, there is a soul. And above the soul, there is super soul. If we surrender to the super soul, then super soul has a power to control the soul. And then soul control the intelligence. Intelligence control the mind. Mind control the senses. And we will be safe. So we don't have to do it from there. We increase the quantity of the matter. No. We have to strengthen our intelligence by spiritual practice. Modern time, what we do, we try to give more and more object. Today this, tomorrow this, tomorrow this, today this. Like continuous, we have plans to give enjoyment to the senses. Every weekend, every vacation, we have plans to give some kind of enjoyment to the senses. We keep planning. We'll go this, we'll do this, we'll eat this, we will go this. Like we have so many. So we try to give more and more matter and we think that we will be happy. But Krishna says you give yourself spiritual intelligence. In our childhood, of course, everybody will say that time has changed. We were not having so much sense object. We were more happy children. Only playing with our what you call siblings or our cousins and playing some outdoor, going out, playing with the ball or some very small thing, and then come home, mother will cook nicely, eat. That is the weekend. Weekend, mom used to make something special at home. Father will be at home. We all will eat together nicely. We'll have some, maybe watch, later when TV came, we'll watch some television or we'll chit chat or we'll play some games like what you call nowadays business or Ludo or some games like that at home. And that is how we used to pass time. Nowadays, we have every time we go out, do this, there's so many, because with more and more matter is available and we want to give more and more matter. So there is no time for strengthening this intelligence. There's no time for us to strengthen the intelligence. We don't have any plan for this. And that is the reason, even though we are giving so much matter to us, we are not happy because our intelligence is weak. And this is not making us happy. This is the reason. We have to have the time for spiritual intelligence. Strengthen the spiritual intelligence. So what is needed to go victory over the enemy? Spiritual intelligence and strength needed. How will that wisdom and strength be obtained? How will obtain that spiritual strength? By divine knowledge. So Krishna says, by divine knowledge, you can attain that strength, which will strengthen your intelligence. So, and that Krishna will discuss in the next chapter. So here it says, Evam Buddha Param Buddhva Samsatva Atmanam Atmana Jahi Shatrum Mahabaho Kama Rupena Durasadam. Thus, knowing the oneself to be the transcendental of material senses, mind and intelligence, O mighty Arjuna, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence. What Krishna says? Ki jahe shatrum mahabaho kam. You should give yourself the spiritual intelligence, higher knowledge. And thus, that is how your speech is, what you call your intelligence will be strengthened, and then it can conquer the insatiable enemy known as lust. So scientifically it is all given. This is how we are also trying to do that sometimes. We are also trying to strengthen our intelligence, but we do not know how to do it. So some people are very sincere, they read different books, they try to use yoga pranayam to do something, strengthen our intelligence. But the problem is that most of the people are not doing, very few people are doing. So they become very like outcasted, like they will be treated in the society like, what all you are doing? This is time to enjoy. Why you are trying to strengthen your spiritual intelligence? What is this required? All this thing we will do. They do not know. It is not only required that when I die, I will be having the benefit of reading Bhagavad Gita. I will get the benefit of reading Bhagavad Gita right now. If I read it and understand properly, my life will be so smooth, happy, peaceful. Yesterday, one devotee here was asking, we should do it. Now, when my mind will be peaceful, I read Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita has to be read when mind is at unrest. This only will bring peace to the mind. Arjuna was reading Bhagavad Gita when he was completely disturbed and he was standing in the battlefield. Krishna did not say, okay, Arjuna, just go and fight now. I'm just telling you to fight. Just listen to me. Krishna very patiently heard him and gave him the knowledge for 45 minutes to give strength to his intelligence. Arjuna was also carried away with his mind, senses. I should not fight. They are my friend. They are my relatives. How do I do? All these things will happen. Weak mind. And weak mind was distress condition for Arjuna. Weak mind means he was not able to take decision. He did not know what is right, what is wrong. And even though he was forgetting his duty, he was becoming very weak. And that time Krishna gave him the spiritual strength by giving him knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is required for us right now, today, because that will make our life very happy. We will be able to see our life, the different angles of our life, how this is happening, and how I can balance and how I can improve myself and how I can be happy in my life. So that is the reason here Krishna says getting the divine knowledge. So this chapter ends with the answer of Arjuna. Arjuna asking how we strength, how do we overcome? Krishna says by divine knowledge. Once you get the knowledge, with the knowledge you can strengthen your intelligence, and that is how you can strengthen your mind, and that is how you can overcome all this. And the next chapter is named as divine knowledge. So now we'll get into the next chapter, chapter 4. The name of the chapter is divine knowledge, Divya. And now Krishna will give different type of knowledge. So see, you can understand how sequentially we are progressing from one step to another. So please don't miss the classes, because if you miss one class, then you miss the chain in between. And those who have missed the classes, we have uploaded the video, and there are video recording is there. You can go back and hear, so that, or if you have after hearing also any doubt, you can come back, you can write the questions, and then, or you can ask question here in the classes. So we will try to answer those questions also. So this is how the chapter 3 ends here. So lesson is, watch out this dangerous enemy, else one might end up in the lower species of life. So this lust can take us anywhere. So what lesson we learn? Desires. So Arjuna was thinking what we should desire is there in me, whether I should deny it or purify it. So Arjuna wanted to have denial. No, I don't want to do it. Krishna said, no, that is not the thing, because even if you deny, there is a desire inside and it will again come up. So you better purify the desire by the spiritual activity. This is what Krishna gives the knowledge at the end. Strengthen your intelligence, purify your desire. Desire cannot be curbed. We cannot forcefully control the desire, because it will come up with the more force. So rather, if we have some desire which is not good for me, I need to purify it by intelligence, by knowledge. Then accept the law of karma. Each action has a reaction. So we should be very, very careful in doing our activity. Nobody is responsible for any of the thing which we are having in our life, whether the happiness or the distress. As we don't give credit for our happiness to anyone, because I feel very responsible, I have done good, I have done nicely, so I got this good thing. We should not give any, we should not make anyone like responsible for our bad, whatever happens bad to our life. As we are responsible for our good, we are also responsible for our bad thing, whatever. Because karma is like that. Whatever you do, you get it back. So we cannot get out of it. And we can get some of the karma we can get in this life, some of karma. I'll give a little bit, 5 minutes about karma. Karma is like accumulate. We accumulate karma. So karma is like we have as a soul, I have a bank account. Every karma I am doing is getting into that bank account in my bag. So it is, I am accumulating karma, all good and bad, whatever. We are accumulating good karma, we are accumulating bad karma. We do something bad. Again, we told you what is bad. Anything against the scripture is bad. So if you do that, we accumulate bad karma. Anything which is follow the scripture, we do right thing, get good karma. So all those things is accumulated. But when the life hour gets over here, all the karma will not, because it is so much that in one life we cannot like enjoy or suffer one set of karma, like full karma. So when we change our life, in that, from that batch, certain amount of karma is given to us to enjoy or suffer, whatever. Like I will explain, I think I had done this before also. If you have a bank account, so you may have 1 lakh rupee in your bank account, but every time you will not have 1 lakh rupee in your pocket. Maybe you have taken out 10,000 rupees in your pocket. When then 10,000 will get over, then you will get another 10,000 and keep in your pocket. You may have still, after taking 10,000, you have still 90,000 in your bank. You will do something more and add some more. So this is how the karma account is also there. We take out some karma, we again create some more karma. We take out some karma, we create more karma. So that sanchit karma is always there. Balance is always there in the account. So when we get the body, animal life, there is no karma. So when we get an animal life, all the karma is just preserved. We just go through the cycle of animal. Then we get a human body, then we get some karma. If I have 100 karma and I got this body, so from, we do not know how much, but certain amount of karma is given to us in this life. So till the time it is not given to us, it is there in the account, it's called sanchit karma. When it is given to us in this life, it is called prarabdha. prarabdha. Okay, now it will become my destiny in this life. Some good destiny will be there, some bad destiny will be there. In that good and bad also, there is karma has come. Like if I have some happiness I have to get at the age of 50. So till the time of 49 years, till that time, it is like an aprarabdha. I have not got the result. At the age of 50, it will become my prarabdha, then I'll get some happiness through that karma. Similarly, if I have to get some suffering, till the time it does not happen, it is like an aprarabdha in this life also. I'm carrying it. I have not yet got the result. At certain point of the life, I'll get the result. It will become my prarabdha. It will manifest. Otherwise, it will be unmanifested. So we cannot burn all the karma in one life just by creating and burning, because we are creating also. And that is the reason for us coming in the material life again and again, because we have a lot of karma. So again, those karma has to get finished. Na? I have to again take birth. Again, some karma will come. Again, I'll enjoy and suffer. And again, I'll create something. So again, this is a cycle going on and on for millions of lives. We think this is the one life. We have passed through many thousands of bodies, millions of bodies, changing again and again. At some point of the life, we are fed up with this. We hear Bhagavad Gita, we attend knowledge, and we think, oh no, I don't want to discontinue again and again. Again, I'm coming, what is the purpose of my life? Why should I be having all these things? I do not want to get into all this. I do not want to have these difficulties. I do not want to have this. Why I'm having all this? This question comes in the mind at some point, at some person. And that is called Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Then we start hankering. Is there some knowledge which will tell about me? What will happen to me? What is there? Who am I? Is there any knowledge? Then that person search for that knowledge. And then he comes and hears Bhagavad Gita. And then probably life will change. We can stop this karma. So in the 4th chapter and 5th chapter also we'll read Gahna Karmano Gati. It's very intricate, very difficult. This is the very basics of karma we have explained. Very intricate. You will tell what I have done bad because somebody can say, my son is murdered, or my son was paralyzed, or maybe some difficulty. What he has done bad? Why he is suffering so much? God is so unkind. He is such a small boy. We have not done anything bad for any person, anywhere, anytime in my life. Why this difficulty have come to me? 100 times this question comes to us. And we have no answer about it. And ultimately, we accuse the God. He is unkind. He has given me, God has given me all these problems. Why will God give you the problem? Why will He is not enemy of anybody. We tell that God is the father of every living entity. Why will He give problems? It is all our accumulated karma which is coming as good. Some people are born very rich and enjoying so much in their life, having everything good in their life, all set. They will be born with a silver spoon and golden spoon and have a nice, beautiful body, good education. Whatever they do, they'll get the result quick, very successful, everything nice. Some people will be mediocre. Some people will have from the beginning only different distress. Child is born with so many difficulties, so many sicknesses there, not very good, not having any, so many problems are there. All this is because of our some activities which we are doing. So what Krishna is teaching, that stop that. Because it is bringing you so many distress in your life. So the root cause is that. Suffering is not because one thing or another. It is just that your desire is there to enjoy, and which is creating so much karma. And that because of the karma, you are doing so many, you are forced by the lust, do the things which is not unwanted also, and get into trap. So what Krishna is trying to teach us? To get out of that trap. So this is what we did in this chapter, Karma or Tyaga. Arjuna had questioned whether I should do my duty or I should renounce. Krishna said, do Nishkam Karma Yoga. And then he taught Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. Initially, you will have desire, do the things with desire, but add sacrifice in your desire. And then slowly, you start learning how to do Nishkam Karma. And then he said, set a good example for others. Even if you don't have desire, also you should do your duty to set an example. And then Arjuna asked, what forces us to do the wrong action? Krishna says, lust. Win over the inner enemy, lust. And how we can overcome the lust? Krishna says that transcendental knowledge. Hare Krishna. So I congratulate you all, first of all, by completing 3 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. And 1/6 part of the Bhagavad Gita is over, probably 1/6, right, Maths? 18th chapter is there.
Yeah.
So,
Ma'am, can I ask a question?
yes, please.
Ma'am, these days, in every household, you see these property disputes. One brother is killing another. Parents, they keep on accumulating, and ultimately, the children, they are fighting. And is it justified to kill? One brother is killing another. This is what exactly happened in Mahabharata. But those were the transcendental people. They were godly people, spiritual people. But what's happening here? So who is justified? I really wonder at times, because every now and then you hear this.
So again, this is the same thing what we read today. It is the lust which forces us. Because why we are killing, why we are doing all those things? Because we have the desire for property, desire for things, desire for equity. Like I have more and more. People are not satisfied and happy with what they have. Because they don't have the transcendental intelligence to understand that everything is temporary and everything is there. Why should I create the bad karma for me? This knowledge has been completely wiped out to teach generation that each and every action of yours is going to give you some reaction. Please be very careful in doing your activities, because I am only going to get. I might take somebody's 100 rupees, 500 rupees, 10,000 rupees, 2 lakh rupees. But at some point of the time, when Krishna will take away from me, it will be very painful. It will be very painful, and definitely we have to pay the price for it. So, and that time when it is taken away from us, it is going to be painful. It is not going to be easy. So right now I'm hurting people. I am doing wrong with the people. I am trying to be very nasty. So all this, it is going to come. Everything is going to come to us. But this knowledge is not there, and people are just not understanding any about the future, next life, karma. They think that today let me enjoy today. I don't want to see the future. Right
like even
now,
Ambani's, they fought in public.
I want right now I should have it. Right now I should be number 1. Right now I should have all this in with me. That is what is called the false ahankara. I want to. Who has seen? Even if you try to teach something, that is what I was telling. Covering in the people, there are some saintly people. They are not very saintly. They don't know anything, but as soon as they understand, they will be very careful. Some people covering is thick. Even if you tell them, they will not understand. No, I don't care. Don't talk all this thing to me. That is what yesterday I was telling. I don't know, here or somewhere else in other class, that is the reason we reject God. Because we do not want to. God has become a problem in my sense enjoyment. Because he has some teachings. He wants to teach us something. You see, many times you will see, if the parents are trying to teach, sometimes children will come and murder their parents only. Don't teach me anything. I know.
Every day this is happening. This is Kali Yuga. This is what's happening.
Because parents are trying to be good, to give you some good knowledge that you don't suffer in the future. But your desire to enjoy is so strong, you just reject them. You just don't teach me. I know everything what is good and bad for me. So this is our excessive desire.
For the property disputes, I wonder why they are killing each other. If one is all right, says, okay, you keep whatever you like. Okay. Then things they settle properly. Otherwise, it leads to the murders.
I know. Correct. So this is both. It is an excessive desire plus not having the proper knowledge.
Thanks, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So in all these 3 chapters, anything you have to ask, or you can give me your feedback. Are you able to understand? Are you able to get the flow of the chapter? Are you able to understand some messages? Many of you are reading probably first time. So those who have read it before with us, maybe for them it is more easy, but those who are reading first time, are you able to understand? Do you want to give any feedback? Not that it's
Hare,
okay if you are finding anything
Hare
difficult.
Krishna, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Mataji, yesterday I was actually not able to attend the class, so actually miss unfortunately. And there is the thing now, but we are trying to easily, but it take time to me. I know that one. Maybe first round I am not able to understand full, but very take time to me.
Yeah, see, we
And
are also trying to make it simple and more like what we can understand as our practical life. We are trying to make it in simpler version of Bhagavad Gita. We are not going into the deep philosophy because each shloka has a first level of knowledge, second level of knowledge, third level of knowledge. So we are also trying to like keep it very simple, like basics, what we can learn and like how it can change our life. So,
Yes.
but yes, of course, teaching it will take some time to understand, Prabhu. We have to read it again and again.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji. I actually have one question which is not related to this, but I wanted to probably just share and understand that if this can be possible. So we are going to do 18 verses, right? 18 chapters. So there is a different learning in each and every chapter. I'm very convinced that you are telling us the sense of it, each sloka, versa, everything. But is it possible that we can have some kind of a summary for each and every chapter which we study and we revise it so that that will be a connect for the whole Bhagavad Gita as a process? Like if I have to give an example, first in the first chapter as we started, we discussed about how Arjuna was wanting to find meanings as to the basics where he wanted to understand why he has to do this war and why it is required. So that was the summary or maybe the crux of that whole chapter. Second, again, we had a different version. And third, again, we are talking about the karma part and the other aspects. So if you could summarize, maybe at the end of the chapters, that will help us to, correlate one. At the same time, also engrave in our mind the whole essence which we have studied. I mean, this is just, I thought, because for me, as an individual, it helps that way.
See, in my this thing, that's the reason every class when I come, I try to revise the previous class, what we did, so that we have a connect. Okay, yesterday we did so. At least 2 times every subject matter we are discussing. At the end also we are trying to. But of course, what you're saying is right. Hearing is not enough. We should have something in the form of writing so that we can have. That is what you're saying.
No, Mataji. I am not saying in a form of writing. I mean, even what you're repeating. So you are repeating each and every chapter. But what I was saying is like, see, by the time we come to say 12th chapter, okay, so we would have studied and revised on all the process. But then if we at the end of each chapter, like as we completed 3rd chapter today, if we can just summarize what was the 1st chapter learning, 2nd chapter and 3rd chapter, and maybe next time when we do it, it will help us to form the set base that this is what we have done. Because I understand that every shloka you cannot repeat, but like suppose now next session which we have the next Friday, so maybe we can have one summary like in 1st chapter we studied this, in 2nd we studied this, and 3rd we studied this, and now we'll begin with this. So this will, so once you will do it after every chapter, as a just a devotee or something who wants to follow, it will be engraved in me at least 1 or 2 summary every time. So that will help me to relate. Okay, if I have something, I can refer to this chapter for understanding this better.
Yeah. Okay. We'll take this note and we'll see how we can do it.
Sure, Mataji. Thank you.
Thanks.
Is it possible to share the presentation, Mataji, whatever you're presenting?
See, I'm trying to put this classes on the recording. This one, Lata is doing the recording also. So I don't know, Radha, you do have audio recording or video recording?
Video we cannot share. Audio recording is there. But PPT, as such, sharing the PPT, the issue is we will use it for the next session. For example, we will include few more slides and we will use it when we are going to do it next time. So if we are sharing the PPT, the issue is like we cannot upload in the YouTube. It may look like a pressurized one. That's why we don't share the PPT as such, because it's a continuous process. One batch is over, then obviously for the next batch, or for the same batch only with an advanced information, we add few things in the slides and do. That's why we don't share PPT as such, because if it is used, then when we will not be able to upload in the YouTube, it will show as a pressurized one. Even a simple picture we take from one slide from any YouTube, it comes as a copyright issue. So all our the work in the PPT, we don't even take anything as such, like copy paste is not there. That's why we are not sharing the PowerPoint as such.
Yeah.
Mataji, I think Sindhu Mataji also asked some questions. I sent it to you, and you
Yeah,
said we will
yesterday I
discuss in the class, right, Mataji?
Any question was asked. So, is there any questions, Sindhu Mataji, again today? Yesterday
No,
she
no, yesterday I couldn't. No, yes, it's fine. I had actually shared, and some of them got cleared yesterday. Some of them. There were a couple of more. Then I can always look at it and come back on that. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What happens is why I thought the PPT, because the PPT you're explaining it well. So when we are reading it, reading the Bhagavad Gita,
See,
we're trying.
What we are
Yeah.
doing is my suggestion to all of you, and I had told you before also. It takes each chapter has 30-40 shloka. Every chapter will have 30-40 shlokas, and we are at least taking 2 weeks to complete the chapter. 10 shloka we take in 1, 7, 8 shloka. So 4 classes we take at least 2 weeks. So you all can have a time to go through your Bhagavad Gita, because we are also taking everything from Bhagavad Gita only. Since we cannot read the whole purport, so we try to put it in a summary manner because it's taking so much time. So I would suggest that you also read. Why would I suggest also you to read? For if I am telling something wrong, you can correct me. Because you have read, then you say, no, Mataji, it is not written Bhagavad Gita, this is written like this. So I will also be not saying something, definitely I will not say anything wrong what is not there in Bhagavad Gita, but I'm just saying, you also try to read Bhagavad Gita, at least few shloka, 4-5 shlokas in a day. And then you see that how the chapter, what you are reading and what is your understanding. So try to do that also. And then the links are there. We can hear also again. And if there is nothing, then we can always have this question answer session. We can discuss here also. Some of the classes I'm trying to do it on YouTube also. So some of the classes are there in the YouTube. So I will maybe when they're uploaded, we'll share the link.
No, Mataji, I didn't mean that. I was just telling that when I read the Bhagavad Gita, I will when I refer to your presentation, it becomes a little more clear. More clear.
So I will try to give something. Me and Lata will discuss. Maybe we will.
I'm doing it for the first time, and I felt that my experience, first chapter, everything was fine. By second chapter, mid of chapter, little bit, the complexity increases. So, so when you're reading the second and third chapter,
that is the reason we keep asking. If you are feeling that we are taking more shloka, or if you are feeling that I'm going very fast, so please tell Kino Mataji this. You are be little more slow, because you are all reading first time. So I'm trying to be slow, but even though if you have any difficulty, please tell in the class that Mataji, go slow. We want to understand this concept again. You have all the freedom. You are controlling me. I am controlled by you all. So you can say anytime, this is what I want. This slide we want to understand again. Maybe. So if there is any difficulty, please feel free.
Oh.
And if you feel that it is very fast going, so that also you tell me that go more slow, little more slow. So maybe we'll have little more slow in those things. I am trying to do as such. That's the reason I'm trying to do the revision also every class, so that whatever we have read, at least some things are there in the mind.
No, Mataji, one thing we can do, instead of sharing the PPT, we can make a Word document, as Priya Mataji was saying, like a summary. We can prepare something in a Word document, and then we can upload. So they will get an idea.
Yes, that is what I was thinking.
That can be done.
Yeah, I think that should also help. That will help.
We will do some kind of summary. We will try to do.
Yeah,
And-
we will do it for sure. But the only thing, Sindhu Mataji, this is the thing, because the copyright issues will come, we may
Oh,
use it for the next session also. That's why.
okay, got it, understood.
Yes. Okay.
Mataji,
So, yes, Divya.
Mataji, I am okay. Mataji, I am okay with the pace in which you are taking. But some audio recordings are given in the chat group, but some are missing. So if you want to hear it repeatedly, or we may not have sufficient time to go to the YouTube and search for the link and then get it. If audio recordings of each class is given the next day itself, so we can repeatedly hear when we have time or when we are doing something, we can repeatedly hear and get to know what means. If we some parts we lack in the understanding also, we
Yeah.
may be able to catch that. That
Sure.
is my request, Mataji.
Sure. So we will share audio recording anyway. Most of the time she is sharing. If it is missing, we'll share it.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. And if there is any question, you ask the question in the class. And those questions are benefited to everyone else also. So many people get benefited. So there's no problem in asking questions. Sometime during the class, question gets answered because those things are covered. But even though if you do not understand, please ask.
Mataji, if you have a few minutes, I have one more question in today's
Yes,
class.
Prabhu. Yes,
So you talked about accumulating karma over different lifetime and with a bank account. But you mentioned about 50 years prarabdha. Can you please quickly tell exactly what was that?
50 years? No, I didn't mention any number. I said this is what prarabdha I meant to say 50 years. Like I have been given now, like I have accumulated karma in my account. So I have been given a bunch of karma in this life. Now this life starts from 0 to 80. I am living 80 years. Maybe. I don't know, 80 or 55, or maybe tomorrow I am not there. But if my lifestyle is 0 to 80, so my karma will be there at every step. Some will be there on 10 years, some 15, some 16, some 18, 20, some 50 years. So if my karma, some happiness has to come in my life at the age of 50. Like sometimes you go to any astrologer, he says, after 50 years, your life will be, or any number, 30 years or 20 years or 10 years. This is going to be very good. Or this, you are going to have a very bad time. So means that time those karma is getting fructified in the form of prarabdha. Till the time I'm from 0 years to 50 years, I'm carrying it still in this life. I carried in my previous life, I'm carrying in this life also. I have not got the result. So till the time it is aprarabdha.
Okay.
There is a more to it. You will get confused, so I'm just telling you the simpler version. Kuta, bija, aprarabdha, prarabdha is the thing. So all those things I'll like little more later I will explain. You understand? Till the time it is aprarabdha. Now I have not got, but I will get the result.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
So till the time it is aprarabdha, and then it will become prarabdha.
Thank you, Mataji.
When it fructifies. Yes. Any other question? Okay, it seems there is no question. So.
No, Mataji, one thing now. Mataji, one question. This is shloka number 8 actually in this chapter 3. So this Brahmaji is also in our means he will also die like that. Brahmaji is also.
Brahma is the post.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
Brahma
maybe
has, like, see, the number is 100 years for everyone. Brahma also lives 100 years. We also live 100 years. But in the 100 years, like Brahma's days are very long. Very long. The Brahma's
Okay.
100 years is means for us, it will be billions and trillions years.
Yeah. Okay.
But after his 100 days, he will also change the post.
Okay.
Because
Maybe.
Brahma is a first creation. He's not like living entity like us. He's not in sense enjoyment, but he's been given a post to take care of this material universe, to create this material universe. So after his job is over, his age is over, then his duty has been changed.
So maybe next soul will be there who is means that time maybe the designation other person will come, other soul
Yeah.
will come.
So
Like that.
next one will become Brahma, yes. After he
Yeah.
completes the Brahma. Now our Brahma is around 51 or 52 years.
Yeah.
All those things, there is a Vedic mantra chanted when we are doing any sankalpa. Basically, it is called sankalpa. That is where we say, Jambu Deepe Bharat Ghanshe Bharat Varshe, then Dviti Prahar. So that is second half life of Brahma is going. So all those things is there mentioned in those prayer, those sankalpa. We are where we are living, who is the Brahma, what is his name, which area. So the sankalpa mantra is actually when we are doing sankalpa. So through the mantra, that priest is connecting my prayers to that particular demigod. Ki this person from this place is praying to you for this desire.
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all
Okay.
those things are very scientifically explained. So that is how it is. So Brahma is also a post.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so we'll stop the session here.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
And
Krishna.
we'll see you all again next week.
Yeah, okay.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.